Hello. So we'll be going to the next section. I hope you are taking your time to go through the videos one after the other. Like I said, we are going to try and go in depth in aquaponics so that by the time we are done with all the 11 lecture series, you understand what aquaponics is all about in depth. So we'll be looking at location. What are the things that you must consider before siting your aquaponic system? Remember, this time around, we are not just dealing with the plants, neither are we just dealing with the fishes, we are dealing with both of them as a system. And your location matters a lot because you want to ensure that the fishes are having, they are situated in a place that supports their growth the best. Same applies to the plants. So what are some of the things you should take note of in the location? So we start from the fish aspect. Number one, you don't want your fish ponds to be close to where you have trees. You don't want to put your fish pond, maybe this is a tree, you don't want your fish pond under or around it. Reason, because over time you realize that there will be leaf drops from the fish pond, from the trees. And as those leaves fall on the fish pond, it will contaminate the water. It could actually, and then when those leaves begin to decay, it would also affect availability of nutrients. It will support the growth of algae and all of the other things and all of that. So you don't want your plants or your fish pond close to where you have a tree. Two, you don't want your fish pond to be directly under the sunlight. Meaning you don't want the sun rays hitting the fishes directly. Remember that fishes like a place that is a bit cool or dark. So you want to create a shade. I know somebody is thinking, okay, you said not around trees. Again, not under sunlight. So where should you put it? You can create a little shade for the fishes. Create a little shade for the fishes. It doesn't have to be a real screen house. It can just be like a shade. I don't know if you know what I mean. Like you can have like your palm front, anything. Just create a shade. If you are using palm front, ensure you put a net so that the droppings don't fall inside the water. Then, don't put it too close or adjacent to a fence or wall. You don't want it to be too close. So, if you have a wall or a fence, you don't want your fish ponds to be too close to that. Very important. You don't want that. Then, also consider your power source. You want as much as possible to have your fish pond a bit close to around where you have let me say close or far, depending on the kind of power source you are using. If you are using something like a generator, you don't want the sound affecting your fishes and all of that. But you don't also want to be so far that you spend so much money doing wire connections and all. So take note of that. Then try and pick a location where temperature fluctuation is a bit constant. When I say constant, meaning you don't want to pick a place where today it is 24 degrees, tomorrow it is 47 degrees, and it's just fluctuating like that, and you have issues trying to balance the temperature of your water. You want a bit of a stable temperature. So you want to put your fish ponds in areas where the temperature is a bit stable. And you also want it to be in a place where you can easily control the heat. Every type of fish you want to grow has its own optimum temperature where it lives. Remember, the essence of the fish pond is you are trying to recreate the habitat for the fish. So it's not like, oh, you are creating a totally new habitat. You are not going to take, for example, a saltwater fish and throw it inside fresh water. It won't survive, or vice versa. So please take note of that. Then you also want to create storage spaces. When we say storage spaces, if, for example, this is your total land that you want to use to grow, and you want to put your fish ponds here, and you want to use here for growing, you still remember you need to create a space to store things. You need a place to store things like your feed, to store your mesh nets, a place to do your harvesting and all of that. So you want to ensure you have storage places created while doing your fish pond or creating the places for your plants. You also want to ensure that your fish pond is built in a way that it is easy for you to harvest your fishes. It's very important. You don't want to have fishes that you can't get to. Then you also want to ensure, you can also, remember we said you can build all of these within a greenhouse. Very doable, very plausible. It's also very awesome. Then I'm trying to look at my notes to be sure I didn't jump anyone. Then another thing again to take note of is when you are building your fish pond and your plant system, that's the hydroponics aspect, whether it is NFT or flood and drain, you want to ensure that if this is your fish pond, you want to ensure that whatever it is you are using for your plant, the lowest level for the water to return is above the level of your fish pond. So, which means if you are making your fish pond, especially if you want to use tarpaulin, you know, there is a movable fish pond that they build with tarpaulin. If your tarpaulin from ground level is this high, you know you already have an issue, because if your tarpaulin is at this level, it means your water has to return from at least this level from the plant. And then you start thinking of ladder for you to harvest your plants. So if you are going to be using tarpaulin, it might be important to dig the ground a bit and put the tarpaulin so that you probably have your tarpaulin stopping at this level. The lower, the better. I hope that makes sense. So that when you have your plant, so if your tarpaulin is at this level,